Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and I was working on a project and mail showed up. Went to check and guess what? Something arrived. So I'm going to do a quick unboxing and explanation here. Obviously with the magic of modern communication, I know exactly what it is because I get a text the second it arrives. But anyway, I'm going to open it with this. This is a Kershaw 3000 is the model number. It's also known as a DWO. And I got this right when they came out back in 1986, maybe 87. But what it is a commemorative knife. DWO stands for Deli Wade Officer. It was actually a gentleman who was, that's his name, who was a game warden that in 1984 was killed in an unfortunate hunting accident. And so this knife was released to kind of celebrate him, celebrate his life, and proceeds, I don't know if it still goes on, I don't know if they still make it, but proceeds for this initially went to support his family. And I got it kind of for that reason at the time. I also wanted a new little pocket knife back then. Plus, it's a darn good knife. So let's open this, and thank Deli there. I can feel it. It's just a box down here. So cut into this. And what do we have? We have it's the Knipex 77-12-115 ESD. I bet that's what you thought was in there. It's an electronic cutter. I mean, it's a electronics cutter, a diagonal cutter designed to cut wire, but it's not your average one. First of all, this is electrostatic discharge, this ESD, and that has to do with the design of the handles and the material. There we are. Cool. Not the usual Knipex red. The ESD pliers are generally this gray and black, but you might notice something else unusual about it. If you can see that, it has what's called a lead catcher on it, and that's what I wanted. Beautiful, nice machine. Like they spent the time to forge of the name Knipex in there. It's a little spring-loaded. Probably could adjust those myself. But this particular plier with the lead catcher, I want for cutting very small wires, basically to keep track of them, so they don't end up on the carpet or end up in a project or something like that. And all the lead catcher is this metal wire here, or metal attachment, has an extra wire. You might be able to see it right in there, that grabs the lead, or the kind of the running end of the wire that gets cut off. So if I snip something, it doesn't go flying anywhere. It stays still. Let me give you a test on this. Find some stuff here. Might need to catch my things there. So here's what we got. A lot of these kind of pliers or cutters, even if they're for small ones, when you snip something, did you see that? It just, whoops, here, let me slide this over a little bit. As I cut right here, it disappears, falls off, snaps. Sometimes if I use something bigger like this, it might even fly away. If it even cuts it. Here's a Craftsman. Try that again. Boy, that's a nice job there, Craftsman. Wonder what they're supposed to do here. Huh, well, anyway. The reason I got these was because I needed a pair of them, because I had another small pair of Craftsmans. They make a little tiny kit with a cutter and a little kind of micro plier and then a needle nose. Sold them pretty cheap. All of them weren't that great. But anyway, I donated that pair of cutters to a teacher who had a project, and I just said keep them. And I was going to get a new pair, a good pair that actually works a lot better. And so I ordered these. But anyway, here's what goes on. So I've got a wire sticking out right here, and when I cut it, see that? It's stuck right there. And not only is it stuck, it's stuck on there pretty good. How good? Well, I'll take my snap-on kind of thin-jawed locking pliers here, and I'll grab a hold of that. Whoops, clipped it off. Try that one again. It's got a sharp tip on it. I didn't want to get it that tight. There. Well, tip. Thought that would be a good demo. Let me try another. I have a backup plan. Grab another wire here. Let me grab this one. Okay, so what I've got is a wire stuck in there. This is one I've used before for something like this. It's a Craftsman. So I'm going to grab this wire here and show you, whoops, that. See how that's dangling? That's the wire. The lead catcher is actually holding on, so it's got some pretty good retention there, and the moment I open it, it all falls apart. But anyway, so when I snip something like this, it just hangs onto it, and that's important to keep it from falling into a project or, you know, falling on the floor and becoming a little dangerous. Now, while I'll use this for electronics, another area I want to be able to use it is with the cables that run a lot of the components on bikes, such as shifting and brakes. And often the cables fray, and you want to get right up there and nip off a little piece that's frayed out that you can't wrap around again, but you don't want it to fall on the floor, or if I'm working indoors on something, which is often where the high-end value bikes are located, I don't want those little cable pieces to disappear. So let me cut this a little bit more. My Klein small wire cutters. There we go. They're probably too big for, or too small for this, but it gives me a nice splay here of the wire. So there it is. Grab it, snip, then you drop it off wherever you want it, but it's not going to go flying anywhere. It's stuck in there, nice and tight. And that's why I wanted these. The electrostatic discharge is kind of nice too, you know, so it's not going to transmit any undue electrical current through a system that I didn't want. Nice machining. 77 12 115. I assume 115 is the size. Looks about right. 115 millimeters. And there they are. Fun unboxing. Now I've got another tool to play with. So with that, Doc out.